performer who I'm a big fan of. I worked with him on New Year's Eve show pretty fairly recently. You see him Tuesdays regularly at the Firehouse Saloon out in the city, and his funniest person to watch for the competition is Wednesday, June 10th. So again, come to mind and vote for me. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Ythan Lax, everybody. Ythan Lax.
All right, everybody, thank you. Dwayne Will is here for Dwayne. Actually, Dwayne mentioned the last time I performed with Dwayne was New Year's Eve, and it was in a very unusual place, actually. It was at the Palmyra Moose Lodge. Yeah. It was the first time I performed in the 315. So I just talked slower. Moose Lodge, really interesting place. I mean, I was looking around, there were some really, really hot-looking women there, and I was trying to pick up some caribou. I don't know if you know what the Moose Club does. They actually are a terrific organization. They raise money for a children's hospital in Chicago called Moose Heart. And I'm thinking about it, that's actually a great name for it, because Chicago is right in the heart of the country. It's right in the center, and that makes sense geographically. Because up north there in Saskatchewan, you got Moose Jaw, so it makes sense to have Moose Heart right there in the middle. And we all know that Texas is just a whole bunch of moose cock. Right? I heard Dwayne talking earlier about New Year's resolutions, and it's May 22nd, and I've been keeping mine. I've tried this year to be a completely clean comic. Now, fuck that shit, let's have some fun, huh? I also happen to be your token Jewish comic of the evening. Are there any other Jews in the audience? Seriously? I wouldn't have thought so because I'm not in Brighton anymore. For those of you who don't know what Brighton is what you call a gated Jewish community that was not gated for us by somebody else. I have a friend who's converting to Judaism, and he's nervous about the part you would expect him to be nervous about, the circumcision. He asked me, does it hurt? I said, well, let me put it to you this way. After I had mine done, I didn't walk for a whole year. Yeah, Jewish guys, we're the most confident men in the whole world. We cut off a piece before we have any idea how big it's going to get. But you know what Jews have the market cornered on? We got the market cornered on guilt. Right. Are there any Catholics in the audience? Yeah, okay. You think you guys know guilt? No. You don't know guilt. See, Catholic guilt is learned at a very, very young age. Jewish guilt is issued at birth. It starts the very first time your mother holds you. She makes you look down and she says, will you look at what you just did to your mother? And it doesn't stop. My mother's 86 years old, and she says to me, you don't come visit me enough. You know why? Because you're busy gambling, drinking, and womanizing. I said, that is ridiculous. I do not gamble. Oh, boy. I don't know if you heard the introduction to my name. It is an unusual one. My name is Ythan Lax. L-A-X. 3 simple letters. You wouldn't think it would cause much of a problem. But does anybody know the code for Los Angeles Airport?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. LAX. I've never been there. But 17 pieces of my luggage still are. I am, however, getting the last laugh on this because I'm in the process of getting a divorce. So that makes my wife an X-Lax. Yes, that is the big news in my life, and I'm actually quite happy about it. It's, sometimes things have just run its course, and, there's a lot of reasons for it, but one thing I can tell you, if you have not experienced sex with a Jewish woman, it really ain't all that, I gotta tell you. I mean, they're not really known as being the most sexual people. This may sound terribly sad, but I was married for 15 years, and my wife never gave me a blowjob. You believe that? Marrying somebody who won't give you a blowjob is like hiring a plumber that doesn't fix toilets. She won't let me tit fuck her because you got to keep the milk and meat separate. I know we're going to get it after that. I just had a feeling, you guys are a great crowd. You really are. I'll tell you a few other things that about sex with a Jewish woman. They're very, very big on being monogamous. I just wish they were big on being gamus. Just a little bit, you know. I was starting to think S&M meant sleeping and masturbation. When I first decided I was going to get a divorce, I just needed an excuse to get out of the house, and no kidding, that's the reason I started doing stand-up comedy in the first place. Just going out all the time and doing stand-up comedy, and she said, "What is the matter with you? That's all you're doing these days." I said, "Look, I'm obviously going through a midlife crisis. You got a choice. I can either go out and buy a Porsche that we can't afford, I can sleep with some 20-year-old whore, or stand on a stage and tell a few jokes." And she said, "Well, since you put it that way, how often would I get to drive that Porsche?" I just told her when the whore and I were done with it. Now we're going through the fun part. We're dividing our property. Anybody go through that fun stuff? Yeah, you have arguments about everything. You know, we're even having arguments about the board games. Seriously, I got a great idea for solving the problem with the board games. Let's play them all, and whoever wins gets to keep the game. Now, considering the fact that she thinks that Louis Armstrong is the first person to walk on the moon, I'm pretty sure the Trivial Pursuit game is going to be mine. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. Really. My divorce attorney's trying to help me through all this process, and the worst part about this divorce right now is I am still stuck in the same house with this woman. And, you know, I asked my attorney, do you think I should maybe go home and just be, like, ridiculously obnoxious and do whatever I can just to make her just want me out of the house? She said, no, just go home and be yourself. That'll be plenty. So now I'm back on the dating scene. And yeah, absolutely, it's a good thing. But as a divorced man, I've developed 3 important rules that I think you gotta follow if you're gonna be successful in the dating market today. The first rule is get in shape. Now, you don't have to have a perfect 6-pack of abs like me, but lose a little bit of weight. Seriously, I lost 190 pounds. Yeah, give it up, 190 pounds. That's 40 of my own and 150 of my ex-wife. Second rule, manscaping. Ladies, know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Now, you don't have to go all crazy here. I mean, you know, the nice soft chest hair, women love that. They put their face against it. But down here, I mean, guys, think about it from your perspective. Do you really want to be eating and flossing at the same time? And the third rule, most important of all, get a puppy. Am I right? Women love puppies. I see the looks, you love them. Now, I don't know much about dogs, and I certainly don't speak any French, but I found this really cute little white dog, and the breed name, I have to spell it for you because I don't pronounce it very well. Bichonfrise. Bitch and fries. Right? Woman said to me, "Bitch and fries, that's ridiculous." I said, "That is not ridiculous, because if I'm eating some bitch, there's a good chance I might want some fries with that." She asked me, "What is that supposed to be, a dirty old man joke or a cannibal joke?" I said, "Of course it's a dirty old man joke. If it was a cannibal joke, I would have eaten that bitch with some fava beans and a nice Chianti." So now that I'm dating, I had to figure out what kind of women do I like? Who do I think is really hot? You know what I think is hot? I like Asian women. Yeah, you know why I like Asian women? Because they are all that and dim sum. Problem was I didn't know where to meet them. And then I figured it out. I just made a manicure appointment. I dated this one woman, boy, she was off the wall. I called her a penis namer. Any of you women like to name penises? You wouldn't admit it if you did, would you? Well, this woman, you know, she said she dated a white guy, so she nicknamed him Robert Throbert. She dated a black guy, and she nicknamed him Otis Deep Throatus. I told her I'm Jewish, what's she gonna nickname me? She said, Rumple Foreskin. Oh, boy. Oh. Coffee. Love coffee. Who loves coffee? Let me narrow this down here. Who is female and loves coffee? Guys, take a look at those hands, because those are the women you want to take home with you tonight. You know why that is? CNN did a study. There's a direct correlation between how much you love coffee and how good you are in bed. It's my 10th cup today. Large. And I think the coffee's the different blends of coffee, I think they're really kind of sort of a code for the kind of people you're looking to kind of hook up with. For example, women, wouldn't you like yourself a nice Colombian Supremo? I like the Ethiopian long berries myself. You know, our President Obama is a big coffee drinker. You know, he says he likes the Hawaiian Kona, but the right-wingers, they say he's into the Kenya Double A. That would have gone great in 2008, wouldn't it? You know who loves coffee? My mother. My mother is a big-time coffee drinker. Now, you really don't want to think about the fact that your mother loves coffee and good in bed. It's a kind of a skeevy combination. But my mother drinks only regular coffee. And let's think about it. I mean, isn't that kind of the image you want everybody? Just kind of regular coffee. The one thing she says, though, is never drink decaf. And my mother's a little bit unusual. And the reason she says never to drink decaf is because she says there's no such thing as decaf coffee. How in the world are they going to get the caffeine out of the coffee? They don't do that. What they do is they put drugs in the coffee to make you tired. She says, I know they do, because every time I have a big meal, if I have a cup of decaf, I'm out, just like that. So, you know, I said, Mom, you know, there's no way they're going to let them put drugs in coffee. The FDA evaluates everything. She said, they're all greasing each other under the table. Greasing each other under the table. Maybe Mom is a little more than regular coffee. Her entire vocabulary is pretty much like from a 1930s gangster movie. She thinks everybody's in cahoots with each other. I love that word. She uses that all the time. So I'm going to switch things up now, and I think I'm going to tell you a few pot jokes.
Terracotta.
Bring it on.
And I think I'm going to change things up a bit and tell you a few pot jokes. Did I say I was going to tell you a few pot jokes? Yeah, I did. Okay. Now, before I do this, I should warn you, for your own safety, pot jokes can often be gateway comedy, leading to harder humor. The big thing in marijuana today, of course, is it's legal out west just about everywhere. It's only a matter of time, folks, you know it. And, out west, they've got these shops that you can go in, and you can get anything you want, even baked goods, and I'm not just talking about the staff. They're specializing in edibles now. I mean, of all kinds, you can get the veal parmaganja, Wiener Schnitzel. How about a pot pie? Any kind you want. Corned beef hashish. And the spinach artichoke dip is awesome. It is, yeah. They're even experimenting with hybrids of different strains of marijuana. I had this Jamaican Thai blend. It was good, but I'd rather find a chick with that mix. They also came out with a soft drink that packs the power of 8 joints. They called it Blitz. You think that's a good name for it? Blitz? Yeah, I got a better name. Mountain Doobie. Yeah, I like that one. I think I'll leave you tonight with something I heard in the news. There's always those funny stories. And the final story of the day. This is a true story. In New Jersey, a Catholic church has put a McDonald's right in the church. I'm not kidding. Everything is there. They did this so that, if you want to go to church on Sunday morning, you're hungry, it's not going to slow you up. You can do everything in one shot. I think it's a great concept. Starters, for confession, you go through the drive-thru. You can get 3 Our Fathers, 2 Hail Marys, a large fries, and a chocolate shake. Now, we all know the McRib is mystery meat, but please tell me it didn't come from Adam? What, is it too soon? They have actual fryers running the fryers. But New York State safety guidelines require that no boys under the age of 16 are allowed near either of those fryers. Remember the old Big Mac song? 2 all beef patty special. Yeah, they have a new one now. John, Paul, St. Patrick, make a cross, let us pray on your knees in confession, my son. Hey, you've been a great crowd. Try the McVeal. Have a good night.
Ythan Lax, everyone. Ythan Lax.
Ythan Lax. He's talking about weed. I had to quit smoking weed, man. The day I figured out that I thought I invented Shazam. I used to smoke a lot of weed too. I used to. I mean I smoke a lot of weed. No, I knew I was smoking too much because the relationship I had with my drug dealer lasted longer than the relationship I had with my wife. And that was pretty much the exact same thing. I see them both once a week, leave them half my money. It's sad.